And welcome back, Moose family, to another edition of FlanFan Show. Your host, Jason Blaze, alongside Phone Warrior. This is usually a day that Giant and Jim does it, but right now they're MIA, so I guess we're taking the boat for a ride for today. Today's a special edition where we go over all the trade deadline, emo-ness, the trades themselves, some traits in there, and just a lot of bullshit. And of course, the MEC is taking some of the blame here, but some of the captains should be taking the blame. Phone Warrior, what do you think about this?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know why there's a trade deadline even in the MAHL when it's the last day of the season. So you're just getting those teams that are not making playoffs, giving up their best players to the teams that are in the playoffs. So I don't even know what the point of having a trade deadline is at the end of the season. My opinions on this is that they should have had it somewhere between the winter break. But that was probably the best time they could have it, but not the end of the season. Like, that's just a fail right there by the MEC.
Yeah, it is what it is. There's been a lot of speculation as to what happened here. We actually got a caller. Let's bring in. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Who is this caller?
Hey, this is you. I'm just listening.
Oh, okay, no problem. All right, guys. It is what it is. There's been a lot of emails about what happens. I know there's been a lot of captains talking to each other about this. A lot of trades. Do you think that some of these playoff teams should be trading with the teams that mathematically can't make it? Basically trading nothing for something? For example, there was two huge trades here, and some captains think it should have been reversed. What do you think about this?
Well, once the trade's gone through, you can't really reverse it. Only the captains can deny it while there's that 24-hour rule, but once the 24 hours is up and it's posted on a website, there's no way you can reverse the trade, and it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. The teams that just made trades that are in the playoffs already, it just got their team stronger. So now it's just dangerous to watch out for teams like Low End and Kale. Like, those two teams are part of the trades, and they got two big players out of it. So.
Yeah, and again, there's been a lot of emo-ness about this. A lot of captains thought the trade should have been, trade deadline should have been a little earlier. And on top of that, some players think so too. For example, some players that were traded from playoff teams to non-playoff teams, they're pretty emo about this too. I understand what they're going through, and have you ever been in a position like this and been emo about it, or have this never been an issue in the past here? Was it just a one-time thing, or do you think this is going to continue to happen?
Well, I really hope it doesn't happen anymore. I was never involved in any of this kind of stuff, but I that for next season, the only thing is we should just have a trade deadline sooner than we usually we had it this season. So as long as we can have it in the midway point of the season next season, I think the season would be good. But this season, right now, I think it's just going to be a fail, season 13.
Yeah, and do you think it's more important the MEC's fault, or do you think it's also the captain and the MEC's fault? Do you think it's the MEC's fault for allowing to be exploited? And do you think the captains, purposely exploited this and just pretty much brought dishonesty to their names? What do you think? Was it purely MEC, or was it both the captain and the MECs?
Honestly, I don't even know what the captains did wrong. MEC set up a trade deadline date, and then next thing you know, they switched it around. The MHL trade deadline was like a week or 2 weeks ago, but then they switched the MAHL trade deadline to today, and it happens to be the last series of the season for most teams. So I'm gonna have to say it's MEC's fault for what's going on right now in the trade deadline.
Yeah, like we said, there's still trades coming through the trade wire here. We don't know the trades that have yet to be finalized here, but we do know the trades that have happened today. And of course, for those people who do not know, the trade deadline was yesterday at midnight. So we're just trying to get through the 24-hour required time after a trade is finalized to complete, and then the trades will be approved here. And we already got a few trades here. Would you like to go through them, or do you think there's any other issues involving this?
Let's go through the trades and see what teams got traded.
Okay. All right, here. And here's a classic example of giving nothing for something. I'm not saying these players are nothing. I'm saying these players now have no chance to play in the playoffs, and now the player from a losing team has the right here. Example, Yeti gets the Wallace and Dr. Ranich. A low end gets Hugh Laurie. What kind of captain would not do this trade? Of course, but exploiting this just pretty much makes everybody emo. It brings bad publicity to what has happened here, and right now it's just a huge mess here. What do you think about this trade?
Well, low end will Hugh Laurie will definitely help low end's team out in the playoffs, just in case if someone can't make it. Now for Yeti, the Wallace 5 and the Ranch or whatever, Dr. Ranch. From what I know, they haven't played many games with low end's team because he did have a starting lineup and he stuck with that lineup. But I think the Wallace 5 had at least like 11 games played. Meanwhile, Hugh Laurie played most of every single series that he could, because he is a 2-series-a-week guy. So he did play every series that he could with each team that he was on. I believe he was on. This is his third team. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if he was on Tony Soprano's team. I can't really remember that far back. But yeah, Lowen's team just getting the better end of the deal here, and Hugh Laurie will definitely be a big help in the playoff run.
Okay, I asked Yambags if you want to come on here. He said, and this is the official Yambags response to these allegations of the fail here. He says, "We did what we thought was best, and quite frankly, the captains should not be bitching because they did do counter offers here." And again, it just shows that the MEC is not entirely at fault. The captains are to blame too, and duly so. Some of the captains, I believe, low end theory. No offense to the guy, he's a great captain. He has a great team, but this is just, this is just bad morals. You have players that helped you play, helped you get to the playoffs, and then you dish them aside for someone. That's just not right in my opinion. And low end, that's just down. That's low. I'm not even gonna touch it, man, because that is just despicable. And the same happened here with Kale here. He traded Raven and TMPX Sipside for Boston here. Same situation. And again, Kale, I think you belong in the bottom of the barrel here. You belong. I'm just so pissed off of how these captains are doing it. To be honest, my honest opinion and some of the Moose players' opinions are that these trades should be reversed and those captains should never be allowed to captain again, because this is just despicable. Sure, it's within the rules, but still, Moose is set up so that we have the honor system. We have the trust system. We can trust one another. We can try to have some good, clean, quality fun. But when captains are pulling this side, especially with the big influx of new players, waivers coming in, that just doesn't spell a good image here. Paul, what do you think?
It doesn't show a good image. Now, thinking again about what Yambag did say there, how it's the captain's fault too. I do kind of agree with him. Like, the captains should have at least thought that these guys got them to where they are now. What might the change do for them? And some teams, the change might do horrible, but to the others, the team will get stronger. But again, it's nothing you can do. The MEC did what they did. I'm surprised they even allowed a trade deadline, or even a trade deadline in this season. How late this season is ending.
Yeah. Again, you know, it's not entirely either side's fault here. It's just with all the reschedules here, and all the holiday breaks here, things just got messed up. And for all the new guys that are listening to the show, rest assured, the MEC is on top of it, and they will have it fixed out for next season. They promised, they swore on the forums that this season will not be a repeat. Next season will be much better. The deadline will be set from day one, and it'll just be 10 times better here. Because right now there's tons of fails. There's a huge mess there, and there's lots of emos here. I, for one, is pretty emo about it. I will get over it, though, eventually, as do some people I hope will, too. I hope we don't have another Buckeye in the forum here. You know, shout out to Buckeye. Shout out to Zebra Tango. I know you don't have a big voice out there. Guys, if you guys want a good goalie, pick up Zebra Tango. He's one of a kind. And I've heard a unique story there where he's been actually told he can play, but then the captain doesn't even tell him, puts another guy in, and that's also low too. So it's not just the trade deadlines that's happening. The captains are just being general assholes around this time. Do you think it's because they're getting nervous about playoffs, or do you think they were just assholes to begin with?
There's some of them that have just been assholes to begin with, and the other ones are just getting worried about playoff time. Because some big teams do choke in the playoffs. If you look a couple seasons back, USSR Snipers, Mickey Mouse Club, they had the best record in the regular season. I'm going back to the first season of the MAHL, and they had the best record in the season, and then they ended up losing second round. It's just trades like that that are happening to big teams. The captains are just getting worried that will happen to them. And if they keep the regular lineup that he drafted with and that they've been doing so well with, they would have no problem. But since he went and go and trade some guys out, I think that's going to bring down a little bit of his players' confidence, and it's not going to be too good for them.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the trades here. Saint gets Buddy H9. Yeti gets Tip City Dude. This trade just makes no sense. Neither team's making the playoffs. I believe Yeti has one more series to go. I believe it's tonight against Damage Inc. And I don't even think Saint has another series here. So this trade, it's just a formality here. It really means nothing. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, two teams trading with each other, and only one team has one series left. It's stupid. Why? It's like Saint, as you said, has no games left this season. Why would you bother making a trade in the first place if you have no games left? What's that player going to do for you? Like, at least if you never made the trade, like Buddy H9, he's a good guy and all, but he would have had a chance to play tonight if he stayed on Yeti's team. Buddy, he's a great player, so I don't know why Yeti would trade him for Tip City Dude. Tipsy, dude, he's not the greatest player in the world. I would take Buddy H9 over him, but two teams that are out of the playoffs should not be making trades. It should be the teams that are in the playoffs.
Yeah. And to be honest, now that they have the series tonight, they trade their only goalie for a winger. What's going to happen with them? So that might actually have implications tonight. Another trade, we actually mentioned this, the Wallace and Dr. Ranich for Hugh Laurie. Fallen?
Hugh Laurie, well-known player in the Moose. He's regularly an MHL player, but since his availability is a 2 out of 3 series, you see that he's in the AHL, and he got traded again. I believe it's the third time. He's definitely going to help Lowen's team out in the playoffs. The Wallace 5 and Dr. Ranch, we'll see how they do today during the series against Damaging.
Yeah. Some of these trades don't even make sense to me, to be honest. Next trade, I do think it's Kale gets Valorn in exchange. Little spoiler, gets Taco Sunday. Again, it's one of those trades where you're trading a player to a team that's not going to make the playoffs in return for a player that, does, quite frankly, holy crap!
What happened? Breaking trade?
The switchboard is off the fucking charts here, boys. Let's bring the first caller in.
Still real to me, damn it! It's still real to me, damn it! It's still...
Yeah, send this call. We don't have time for that shit.
Alright, let's try the next one.
Damn it! It's...
Okay, let's try this one.
To me, damn it! It's still real...
Alright, guys, if you guys want to call in with real stuff and talk about it, then don't call in with this kind of shit.
Damn it! It's still real...
I do know one caller is actually
still real to me, damn it!
In here because I talked.
Damn it! They're all going to be like that. Don't even accept any calls this traditional.
Damn it! It's still real to me, damn.
Okay, that is just retarded, guys. Honestly,
right there.
Don't fucking fuck with the FlanFan show. It's #1 radio show for the #1 hockey league here. Moose on Ice. That's where the big boys play. It's where the Moose play. It's for the best of the best here. And with jackasses calling in like that, that just makes yourself look stupid. It doesn't make us look stupid. It just makes us look even better than you guys are.
Yeah, you hear that, Scotty? I'm talking about Scotty Wild Thing.
Scotty. Yeah, give out their number. I took them all out before they could. There was like 10 callers there. Same person. I have a funny feeling it could have been another league, or maybe those Moose fucking retard murderer, whatever
Scotty Wild Thing
called. Anyways, some more trades to go. Again, Valorn gets traded for Taco Sunday. What do you think?
Little spoiler, trading one of his best players to a team that's in the playoffs, and he's not even in the playoffs. He's like the second bottom team. Like these are the trades that shouldn't be happening. Valorn's he's a good player and all, but Taco Sunday, I don't know why Little Spoiler even made this trade. He's not even in the playoffs. He's not even in a playoff race. I don't know how many more series he has left. I don't know if he plays tonight or not, but it's just one of these stupid trades to where Kale got the better end of the deal here, and Valorn will definitely help his team out in the playoffs.
We just had a question here from one of our listeners here. He's asking, was there anything done in the MHL in terms of trade deadlines? As far as I know, the call-up, send-down thing, that is done now. I do know the MHL season's a little longer than the AHL, so I'm not clear as to what happens there. I'm not sure if there was even any trades that happened recently. Again, if Yambags can let me know I can give you the information. Don't forget, guys, this is also another plug from Drift King 99 here. The All-Star Game, the teams were drafted here. Fuck. Quit messaging me. Alright, anyways, the teams were drafted. I believe the games are next Wednesday at 10 p.m. If the AHL captains want to, it'll be 9 p.m. But as of right now, both games are at 10 p.m. And then I believe the following day, the winning team of the AHL takes on the winning team of the MHL. It's going to be all interesting, fun. Congratulations to all the players that made it to their respective teams here. You guys really deserve it. Thank you, Drift King, for doing it. Let's get back to the deadline. Last trade so far that's been approved. There's still more coming. They will be posted up by Yambigs whenever they're done and approved. The last trade, Kale gets Boston. In return, he gets B.D. Smith, gets Raven and TMP Sipside. Now, this is a unique situation. Technically, B.D. Smith still has a chance to play in the playoffs, but however, that's really unlikely, and we'll talk about it in more detail when we get to that. Paul, what do you think about this trade?
No, I'm starting to feel sorry for Raven here. He did get traded from Colin Nelly's team, so Damage Inc., and then got traded to I believe it was Noose on Mice, and then Noose on Mice traded him the following day to We Killed Kenny. So Raven, well, basically, I'm looking at the schedule right now for We Killed Kenny. They've got one series left, and they basically have to sweep the series to try to make the playoffs and catch up to Damage Inc., who has 36 points, and We Killed Kenny has 30. So they have to hope for them to sweep, and they have to hope that Colin Nelly's team, Damage Inc., gets swept. So I don't know how good this trade will be for B.D. Smith. I know Raven will not be able to attend tonight, from what I heard. For Surfside Warhawk, I do not know if he'll be there playing against.
Actually, Fallen, sorry to cut you off. I believe this is Raven on the hello caller. Is this Raven?
This is Raven.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going all right. How's it going?
First-time caller fans. We were actually just talking about you. You got any comments about the trades? Are you pretty emo with the fact how everything presented itself as a new guy to the league? What kind of image does this spell to you?
I wouldn't go as far as saying it's emo, but I would say the image isn't the most greatest of this league portraying, especially from the AHL side of things, that you're trading guys around to play with more experienced players and letting, anybody, last day of the season, anyone get traded and moved. Some of the best players are getting moved for nothing. It doesn't seem like it's not setting a great example to new guys then coming in the league.
Now, you got tossed around like a salad here in the past few days there. You got traded from 2 playoff teams to a team that has literally maybe 10% of a chance to make it. What do you think about that? Are you pretty upset about that or what?
It's not the most ideal going from a team that, when on Colin Nelly's team, between me, Fall, and Shadow had a really good thing going. All of us were almost hitting 4 points per game, and then getting traded from that team to Kale's team and thinking, okay, I'm going to be in a better situation, and it didn't work out in Colin Nelly's, maybe it'll work out with Kale's, and then 24 hours later you're traded again to a team that's not going to make the playoffs. Let's not be honest. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's just looking at it realistically that Colin Ellie's team has to lose all 3 games to the last place team. Let's be honest. And, because of all the stuff going on, people telling me, we're playing this night rather than this night. I'm not around to play, and that happens. What am I supposed to do? Can't be around to play if people are telling me different nights to play, and then 12 hours later I get traded.
Now, do you think this fail is entirely MEC or entirely captain, or do you think it's a mixture of both?
It's definitely a mixture of both. It's, I'm not going to sit there and throw MEC under the bus. Yeah, they didn't set a deadline, and that's the first thing that should have happened. The deadline should have been set well before this day even came. It's ridiculous that we have people at 39 games making trades for people who are still be able to play. It's ridiculous that should be in the playoffs after today, and we're still making trades up to this point. You don't see the NHL doing that, so it shouldn't be happening here. Same token, though, AHL captains, a lot of the crap going on should have been them making the changes themselves. Should have been people finding better waivers, finding better backups to fill those positions of people who maybe aren't around, who are getting traded from MHL teams. It goes around from everybody, and I understand everybody wants to win, and I understand the whole point is to put the best team on the ice. But when you start doing stuff like this, it just sets a bad example for what this league, I think, in my opinion, is trying to set. And you're trying to bring people in to have fun and play hockey. You're not doing that. You're not accomplishing that.
Now, is there anything you want to say to the captains, future captains of next season? Are you going to be signing up next season there, or has this deterred you? And if you are going to sign up, is there anything you want to say to future captains? Try to get your name out there a little bit, or whatsoever there. Just anything you want to say?
It's not about, to me, it's not about, trying to get my name out there. The thing I'm going to say to future AHL captains is you got to think about who you're picking and who is on your team and realize that you have to evaluate that in terms of all your draft picks. You can't just play 6 people and expect that's going to be your team. You've got to think, hey, I got an MHL rights guy, or I got a guy who maybe can't play every single week. I need a backup so that I'm not putting all the pressure on those 6 guys to show up. We all have different things going on in life, and we all can't make it every single night. You have to have something else, and you have to have a backup there. If you don't have a backup there, you have no one to blame but yourself. You're the one in charge of the team. You're the one in charge of getting the play. Nothing I can do about it. And, we'll be playing next season. We'll see what happens with the availability and all that. I know it's an issue, but it is what it is. And not much I can say about it.
I think you just stole the line from Jason Blaze here.
How to get it in.
Paul, you got any questions, comments, or concerns about what was just said here?
No, all I have to say is sign up next season. And next season, I believe, will be better than this season, than what's going on right now. Maybe next season we'll have a set trade deadline date before the season even starts. So let's just hope.
Yeah, Raven, thank you for calling in. You got any shout-outs before you go?
No, none. Going to a Junior B hockey game. Go Legionnaires.
Good luck, Raven, for next season there. Hopefully a lot of the drama doesn't affect your season next season there. I think there was one series that happened last night. Let's go over it, and we'll get down to the MHL there. Again, the majority of the news is the trade deadlines, the emailiness around it, and the fact that the playoffs should have started next week, but it looks like it's not going to happen. I look at it on League Day. I believe there's still about 9 series to play here, maybe a little less. Actually, 5 series to play here, and 2 of them being News on Mice here. That's a big indication here. I don't know what to say here, but again, there was one series last night. It was We Killed Kenny taking on Miss McGill's Tea Party, and it was a sweep for Miss McGill's, which really cut the chances of We Killed Kenny for the playoffs here, which set up the situation of does Damage Inc. get swept? If they get swept and We Kill Kenny sweeps Noose, then We Kill Kenny's in. But however, that's very unlikely here. So, Fallen, is there anything special about this series here?
No, the only thing special about this series is We Killed Kenny's chances of making the playoffs. how their chances just got crushed. And like I said before, they need to sweep their next series and hope Damage Incorporated gets swept tonight, which will be highly doubtful because Yeti Killer has no goaltender now since he traded his goaltender, Buddy H9, here at the trade deadline.
Another interesting fact for the series, first game and I believe the second and third game, We Killed Kenny had to use waivers. First game they had to use 2 waivers. Second and third game they had to use 1 waiver there. It is what it is. We Killed Kenny pretty much shot themselves in the foot here. The playoff picture as it stands for the MAHL. Let me pull it up here. It looks like it's going to be the Raging Fornicators against Damage Inc. However, if Damage Inc. gets 3 points tonight, they will pass. If they get 4 points, they will pass the 2-line Tweakers and will face Lambda. So, that's as far as I know with this new playoff format that just started now, where it's conferences. So, according to the conference setup, right now, it's Damage Incorporated versus Fornicators. If Damage wins 2 games out of 3, wins the series, they can quite possibly face Lambda, making 2-line Tweakers face Fornicators. In the West here, I think it's pretty much already set. Noose on Ice taking on Dharma Initiative, Walk of Shame taking on Miss McGill's Tea Party. What's your prediction for the first round there, Fallen?
Well, it's a little bit early to say now, since Damage Incorporated could move up a little bit in the standings. So if you're talking about the standings as of right now, where Damage is playing Raging Fornicators, I'm not going to predict anything because I'm on Damage, so I don't want to jinx anything for us in the playoffs. But I will say Lambda will beat 2-line Tweakers.
All right. One series happened in the MHL. Not very exciting. Not a lot happening in the MHL other than the fact that Legion, he's failed. Situation here. He sent down someone that he didn't know couldn't play next week, and they're pretty much saying he failed the MHL and the AHL in the same season here. Leading to Colinelli, Damage Incorporated, the guy that got victimized by this fail, picking up Cracker Joe, who is the goalie, and it's going to be interesting. Inside info, Cracker Joe will be playing tonight against the Devils Rejects, and again, it is what it is. Last night series, Le Tabernacle taking on Never Say Never, and Never Say Never wins the series 2 out of 3 here, winning the first game 3-0, winning the second game 9-4, losing the third game 3-2 here. Again, uncharacteristic of Le Tabernacle. Usually they keep the opponent's scores low and they get the good goals here. And it looks like NJ Ski hasn't really made an impact. He's been on the slouch. Same with Sobi Iyer Fears. And again, Drift Kings, Never Say Never, has been playing really well.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the game 2 stats here, where it's the 9-4 victory for Never Say Never. It's just, I don't know what's going on with Le Tabernacle. I know they had to call up Agent Jack Bauer play forward with NJ Ski and Cool Fumble, and it looks like they only had one defenseman playing. So I don't know what's going on there, but NJ Ski, he did score 3 goals and got 1 assist in the second game. So maybe it's bad defense. Who knows? Maybe they're in the slump, as I said last time I was on the radio here. But Tackle Dummy just coming out with 2 wins out of 3. Drift King's team just pushing it with Lebunskis and Zelsa Luka, his former teammate from the Cup champions last season. He did have the Wallace 5 play defense in the second game here with Derkner, another player who played with Drift King last season to win the Cup. So maybe Drift King will win the Cup this season. Who knows? He'll win the Cup without Jay Zamorsky here.
All right. Correction, the first game was a 3-0 win, but it was not a shutout. It was a sim loss. Apparently, Lake Tabernacle could not be there, so Drift King took the sim loss, and eventually it decided the outcome of the series here. Do you think there's a lot of emo about this, or do you think Lake Tabernacle took it down willing? Hey.
There shouldn't be any emo about this, because Lake Tabernacle should have all their players on at the certain amount at this certain time, and if they know that, if IR Fears knows that they're not going to be able to make it, then why doesn't he let his warm up or call ups know ahead of time to be ready, because he might need them. Because the way it looks here, he could have called up Agent Jack Bauer for the first game. I don't know who was the one late. Maybe he had 2 guys late. But who knows? He could have called up Agent Jack Bauer a little bit earlier, and he could have played that first game. So as you see here, it affects them, and they end up losing the series because of that sim loss.
All right, let's go for our predictions. As we said, the MHL schedule. Oh yeah, by the way, message to Raven. If you're listening, Yambags has responded to your email, so get on that. Also, as we said, the MHL, their series, their week's a little longer there. Their season's a little longer, and let's go over tonight's games. They got Smoking That Herbe with Fair taking on Taz's Relax and Take. Change team every time we win. Notes here. And to be honest, I think Herbe is going to take it 2 out of 3 here. Taz doesn't really have a very well-built team. They didn't have enough time to build chemistry because he's always been training. However, he has been on a hot streak as of late. So has Smoking That Herb. So I still think Fair and Smoking That Herb is going to win 2 out of 3 here. Also, I heard Smoking That Herb is probably going to be using a waiver call-up tonight. So it's going to be interesting to find out how that impacts here. But still, 2 out of 3 series win here for Smoking That Herb.
Yeah, I'm going to say Smoking That Herb wins 2 out of 3 here. Taz had a good team at the beginning of the season, but then, as you saw at near the trade deadline for the MHL, you saw that Taz swept the team, and then next thing you know, he traded his whole team away. So I don't know. Maybe he got trade happy this season. Who knows? But maybe he should just stick to captaining in the MAHL. He is an MHL quality player, but just the way he's captaining this season in the MHL doesn't look good. But, yeah, Smoking That Herb will be using a call-up tonight. All I'm going to say is that he does have quite a few games played with them. So let's see how that works out for Smoking That Herb. And see
also,
who's missing.
another interesting note for this series, I believe Relax and Take Notes will also be using a call-up. And it's a funny story because both these call-ups are from the same AHL teams here. So, Fall Warriors for Smoking That Herb, Relax and Take Notes with Shadow Demon, or a.k.a. the Apex Panda. It's going to be interesting. 2 teammates colliding on 2 different MHL teams. What do you think, Fallen? Is it going to be fun playing your teammate?
Oh, it's gonna be fun, all right. I mean, he's gonna have a good night looking up at this Raptors full game, but we'll have to see how that works out.
We will see. Hopefully, we can get Shadow in for the next show we have here. See if we can get some chirping after this series here. Anyways, moving on. Worst kind of people taking on Moves Like Yager here. Again, the underestimated team of Worst Kind of People here. They've been playing really, really well, pretty dominant throughout the season thus far. Moves like Yager, they've been hit or miss here. I think it's going to be sweet for worst kind of people taking on Yager. Worst kind of people taking it 3-0 in the series here.
Oh, Blaze. Worst kind of people, they are on a hot streak, I have to admit. They are playing good right now. But yet again, so is Ed the Pimp and his moves like Yager. They are playing good too. So it's two good teams colliding right now. And I'm going to have to say, moves like Yager will take 2 out of 3. Just because I honestly think that they have a better team than Timeless. Timeless is a good player. He is a good defenseman. I believe he does play defense. I'm not 100% sure on that, but moves like Yager, they are on a good hot streak right now, and I believe they will take 2 out of the 3.
All right, last series of tonight. It's yawning there. Sorry. Series Business Cats taking on Beauty and the Bills. Beauty and the Bills been on a slump. So has Series Business Cats. Both teams have pretty strong teams. Although I have said this in the past, not a big fan of the Beauty and the Bills team here. JJDM and Bills here. Both teams are trying to get out of their rut here. And to be honest, I think Beauty and Bills go win this series 2 out of 3.
You're actually taking Beauty and the Bills beat Serious Business Cats?
Yes.
Wow. Because I'm going to predict that Serious Business Cats do take 2 out of 3. And I'm going to say the game they lose will go into overtime. So it will be a close game because JJDM does have an awesome team there. I can't really remember his forward lineup, but I know he does have Bender. I'm not too sure if he has Rick. So that's XV, or I don't even know how his gamer tag is spelled. But yeah, I'm saying that JJDM will come out with a 2 out of 3 series win here. And again, the third game will go into overtime where Beauty and the Bills will win.
All right, Moose family. Regarding this mess in the AHL, the deadlines will be set pre-draft. And this is from one of the MEC members, Yambags. I believe he's the guy running the AHL here. Of course, Eric's the president. Yambags, he's the one running the AHL. He says the deadlines will be set pre-draft. So there will not be another mess fiasco. Yambags, if you're listening, is there any other trades that's been approved? Let us know before the show's over. It is what it is. Yambags, please get back to me there. In terms of the backlash here, the season's still not over, but as it stands, gratuitous amounts of energy is first in the East, followed by worst kind of people, and then third place, Never Say Never. Fourth, moves like Yager. In the West here, we have the chronically arthritic Fappers. Second place, Smoking That Herb. Third place, Series Business Cats. Fourth place, Le Tabernacle. And again, East, the two teams not in it is Beauty and the Bills, 5th, and then Syndrome of the Down is 6th. And in the West, two teams not in it right now are fighting to get in it. Relax and take notes, and Second Nature in that order. If we can get any more trades here, let me ask Yam. Sorry about this, Moose family. We're trying to get the news out as early as possible here. As far as I know, there's no trades to be announced. Yam, but announce the damn deadlines. We have announced the damn deadlines, Yam. We said, oh my God. The deadlines will be locked in, pre-draft, 100%, no chance that this will happen again, no mess. This is from Yam's words himself. He's saying something else. Moose family, we're not making this up. This is from Yam right now.
Let's hope that they can keep that word, because I think having what's it called, a trade deadline pre-draft would be the best for this league. I don't know if they did that last season though, but it would probably be the best idea, and to have both MHL and MAHL end trade deadlines on the same day.
Okay, and the last thing Yam says is, please remind these Moose family members this was a fail, but this league has always fixed things like this. That's words of encouragement to the new players coming into the Moose. Things just happened. The deadline fucked it up. The new Xbox dashboard fucked it up. So a lot of shit has happened between now and then. So this is just inevitable there. This was a fail. It will not happen. Rest assured, the MEC is making sure this will not happen again. Paul, you got anything before we go off the air?
Honestly, I've actually got nothing. And once again, well, I could.
Who's family? That was our show. Hopefully, we can get some hosts tomorrow. If not, Monday, along with Jim in Hollywood. We'll have them on Monday there, hopefully. This has been our show, special trade deadline show. It is what it is. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more FlanFan shows to come. On behalf of Fallen and myself, this is our show. Good night, Moose family. But now I got my name out there, man. I started chirping. I started doing scouting. I started talking to anybody that's anybody in this league, man. And look at me now. Everybody, I repeat, everybody knows who I am, man. I repeat, everybody.